We're out here on the Johnson family property, and Ryan and Corey Massey leased this place, and our Kiowa Conservation District wants to name them as our Conservationists of the Year. They did a big project on this land, and we want to congratulate them for that. They've had an EQIP project on this, and for several years ongoing, and they did an awful lot of work here. So, Ryan, why don't you go ahead and say what you've done?
Okay, so like Charlie said, we're at the Johnson Ranch, family ranch, which is about probably 10 miles northeast of Kiowa, Colorado.
About how many total acres you have here then?
The ranch is 2,600, and I lease another 160 west from a neighbor, and then my wife and I just bought some land. So total, just shy of 3,000. There's just about 2,900 acres there.
Very good.
And so we're basically a cow-calf producer. We run about 110 cows here. And I calve a lot later than most people. I don't start calving until the 1st of May. And I kick bulls out for about 60 days. So usually done by, within 45 to 60 days, I'm done. So, and I like that fact too, because I don't have to put as much inputs into my cows as a lot of guys do. I don't have to feed them. I do feed them and maintain them. And so we calve out. Cows are just kicked out, and they calve out on green grass. So in May, I got green grass coming, hopefully, if we've had a good spring.
And hopefully no
yeah,
snow.
Yeah, I do every now and then. May can get a good blizzard,
Yeah.
So you can kind of get hung out to dry, but that's just the nature of it. But I feel like, I save a lot of money on hay and inputs, having to feed them all winter. I try to save my bottom. There's some really good springs that run down through the ranch, and I save all that grass for winter. So I try to graze as long as I possibly can. It's what is it, January 20th, I think today, or 19th, and I've been feeding my cows for about 2 weeks. So we have 22 different pastures here. My largest pasture is 160 acres, and the smallest pasture is 80 acres. So my hope is to increase my cattle numbers with my rotational graze. With that many pastures, I can rest those pastures, and I'm hoping to bring my cow size down, get a smaller cow, and that way I can increase my numbers with those pastures. So that's my hopes of doing all this stuff. I got involved in 2012, and then the first EQIP contract that I got was in 2013, and we got that done. I think we had 3 years to get that accomplished, and we got it done within a year. And then I started another one in 2016, I believe it was, and I had till 2021 to get it done, but I got it done in a year and a half too. So I had a contractor came in. We ripped all the interior fence out on this place and put all brand new. So every interior fence here is brand new, and it's three barbed wire fence. So.
Well, it should work out good. I think you've got quite a project going here, and it'll really increase the value of the property. And
Yep. The family's been great to work with, and I've done a lot of improvements for them. We don't own it; we just lease it. We have a long-term lease, so they were willing to work with us. So it's been good. So we put in 5 tanks and 3 solars. 2 of the solars tie into pipelines that we brought from the south end of the ranch down to the corrals going north. And then on my 25-foot storage tank up top, it ties in to another solar, and so total pipeline is about 1,800 feet of pipeline we put in. The one up here behind us has got a water trap with 2 storage tanks in it, and I think at that time we did 2.5 miles of fence on that one. And then we got that one accomplished, and we started with another one that we wrapped up summertime. Uh, and it was approximately about 18 miles of fence, interior, 3-strand barbed wire fence that we put in. And we put another big, it's 25 foot, it's 2 foot high by 25-foot tank, all fiberglass. We did that with a water trap, and it will service 5 different pastures that cattle can come in and water at. We do have some mullein weeds and Canadian thistle and some
Leafy spurge.
leafy spurge.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping in turn we're going to do a little bit of weed spraying on our next contract to try and get ahead of those weeds. I don't want to get out of control, but I'm hoping with my 22 pastures that we have here, I can rotate around and not hit grasses as hard as, having this with no interior fences. Those cows are always going to go to the best grass.
Sure.
I'm hoping with the pastures and the way we're going to do a rotational graze, when I'm calving, it's going to be, I'm going to move fast, and then, come July, I can slow down and do a slower rotational. But for, that April and May, I'm going to be moving fast when grass is growing. So I'm hoping I can do some grazing to combat the weeds, and then we'll do some weed spraying along with that.
Very good.
I'd like to thank everybody at the NRCS office. Everybody was great. I think I worked with everybody. I worked with Linda and Dan, Derek, Lana, and Stacy. Everybody's answered all my questions when I've called or had any concern. I know I've come out here with Dan and Linda several times. I still have a lot to learn, but I'd really like to thank those guys and the NRCS office. None of this could be possible without that office and the support from them. So it's a great deal. If anybody wants to improve their ranch, gain knowledge, which I've gained a bunch, I still got a long way to go. Call your local office. They're great to work with, and they'll help you out.
Well, congratulations, Ryan.
Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate it.
Corey. We'll see you at the banquet, I think.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.